It was a crisp October morning, and the animals at Wildwood Zoo were buzzing with excitement. Halloween was just around the corner, and this year, the zoo was hosting its first ever Halloween safari parade. The zookeepers had planned a special day filled with decorations, treats, and most importantly, costumes, because why should humans have all the fun? Each animal was getting ready for the big event in their own unique way. The zookeepers had worked tirelessly to help them pick the funniest, most creative costumes, and the animals couldn't wait to show off their new looks. First up was Leo the lion. As the king of the jungle, Leo wanted to be something totally unexpected. So, instead of a ferocious lion, Leo decided to dress up as a fluffy sheep. With a white cotton coat wrapped around his golden mane and little horns attached to his head, Leo padded around the enclosure, giving the softest roars he could manage. "Bah roar," Leo tried. It wasn't quite right, but it sure got the zookeepers giggling. Across the zoo, Ellie the elephant was having the time of her life. She had always been fascinated by birds, so this year Ellie transformed into a bright, oversized parrot. Her trunk was covered in rainbow feathers, and she wore a massive beak hat that wobbled as she walked. Ellie proudly flapped her wings, trumpeting with joy. "I'm the world's biggest parrot," she announced, flapping her trunk in the air. The sight of an enormous, feather-covered elephant parading through the zoo was too much for anyone to handle without laughing. Meanwhile, over in the monkey habitat, Benny the Baboon was getting into his costume, a superhero cape. Benny had decided to be Captain Banana, complete with a bright yellow cape and a banana mask. Every few minutes, he would run up and down the trees, posing dramatically with his arms in the air. "Never fear, Captain Banana is here," he cried, sending the visitors into fits of laughter as he swung from branch to branch. In the reptile house, Shelley the tortoise was taking things a bit slower, literally. Shelley had dressed up as a race car. Her shell was painted with racing stripes, and she wore tiny cardboard wheels on her sides. As she crawled slowly along the ground, Shelley would occasionally honk her little toy horn, trying her best to look speedy. The zookeepers couldn't stop smiling at the sight of the fastest tortoise at the zoo, inching along at her leisurely pace. Nearby, the flamingos were up to something mischievous. Flora, the most fabulous flamingo in the zoo, decided to lead her entire flock in dressing as skeletons. With white face paint and black stripes on their feathers, the flamingos strutted around like spooky, skeletal flamingos. The visitors gasped and then laughed when they realized how perfectly Flora and her friends had embraced the Halloween spirit. But the star of the day had to be Gus the Giraffe. Standing tall above everyone else, Gus was determined to be the scariest creature at the zoo. He had dressed as a towering dinosaur, specifically a T-Rex. Gus's long neck was covered in green scales, and his zookeepers had crafted a huge, goofy dinosaur head to fit over his real one. "Roar!" Gus tried to roar, but his voice came out as a high-pitched squeak. It didn't matter, though. The visitors loved him, and even the other animals couldn't stop laughing at Gus's attempt to be a fearsome predator. The zoo visitors were delighted, snapping pictures and laughing at the silly spectacle. As the animals paraded past, they were treated to special Halloween-themed snacks, pumpkin-shaped treats for the lions, banana candy for Benny, and leafy green skeleton bones for Flora and the flamingos. As the sun set and the animals began to doze off, one thing was certain: Halloween at Wildwood Zoo had been a roaring success. The animals had dressed in their silliest, spookiest, and most creative costumes, making it a day that neither the zookeepers nor the visitors would ever forget. And so, the Halloween Safari Parade became a beloved tradition at Wildwood Zoo, a day where the animals got to be just as wild, funny, and playful as the humans who came to visit them. Happy Halloween, where the giggles are endless and the costumes are unforgettable.